The only guy that has a chance of being held out from a residual from Saturday is Andrew Sweat. But nothing that we had occur in practice or anything. No, he probably should have. But, everyone's all right. Oh, I'm all right. You know how that goes. Well, when we're in base defense, it would be Jonathan Newsom. And then, obviously, in the special teams, he wasn't a nickel guy. Tyler Moeller comes in and the Sam backer goes out. And obviously on the special teams, just the next guy in line. He has done a nice job on the special teams thus far this year. He'll have opportunities this weekend in the base defense. Don't know for sure how University is going to deploy. So what percent of the time we're in base and what percent of the time we're in nickel or dime or that type of thing, we're not sure. But, it's like any young guy, whenever you get a chance, not unlike C.J. Barnett. C.J. got his chance in preseason, and then all of a sudden he seized the moment and stepped up. And so Jonathan is the same age, and it'll be fun to watch him. On the kickoff, not right now. We're trying to have him continue to grow as a punter. It's difficult, I think, early to do both the punting and kicking skills. Now, the kid from Miami, the last 2 years, has done a spectacular job doing both. But he was a fourth and a fifth-year guy. We're not there, with Ben yet. Well, I think the thinking is pretty methodical. One, you don't want to turn it over because that's an emotional lift for the opponent. Two, you don't want to come up with nothing because that's an emotional lift for the opponent. You got to get at least 3. Now, ideally, we need to score more touchdowns. And I don't know, we were down there, I'm not sure exactly how many times, but would we have 3 touchdowns and 5 field goals? I could probably live a lot better with 5 touchdowns and 3 field goals. But we've got to get better. And we're not taking anything away from Miami. Miami had a part in the red zone plays as well. It wouldn't change the hierarchy of our thinking. You still don't want to turn it over, don't want to come up blank, But do we trust our defense? Absolutely. But I've always been a believer, and I think we've always had pretty good defenses because our mindset is we don't ever want to do anything to put our defense in anything other than the best position. And if you become overly trusting of your defense and say, well, let's just let them handle things, we'll get ultra conservative and so forth, both in clock management and in, decision making in the red zone or wherever. Then all of a sudden you put unneeded responsibility on your defense, and I don't think that's the right thing to do either. Well, Orion's a different body type, a lot more size. Maybe a little more range. CJ, I thought was really evolving as a very physical, active guy with excellent quickness. Didn't weigh a whole bunch. There were times when you're thinking, can you come down in that box and splatter people at 185 pounds for 12 weeks, and stay alive? But they're a little different style, but, as long as assignment-wise, they're both in the right place, they both can do it for you. They're both capable. And then, of course, you got Aaron Gant and Nate Oliver who, are a part of that safety formula. But I was pleased with Orion coming out of spring. I was disappointed when he missed time in the preseason. So he took a step backwards. simply because you have to practice. He's been getting all the reps now, and so we need him to get good. We have Ricky Crawford, Chris Malone, both local guys, seniors that will be graduating. I think Chris is this fall or winter, and Ricky's this winter. And then Scott Sika, who's in graduate school, so he'll get an entire year's worth of his master's paid for. And all those guys have been here a long time and taken a lot of snaps in practice and not a whole bunch of glory, and been good citizens and good students, and so we were able to reward them. We rewarded them yesterday. In front of the team.
What do you think that
Ricky hasn't stopped smiling. I think he slept last night with a smile. And how do we tell him? We just announced that, we're very proud to, drum roll, announce this, and get the resounding, applause from the guys, because our guys know who, has given a lot, and our guys know the difference, between how fortunate they are that are on scholarship and those that are just, fighting the fight, and working part-time jobs and doing all the rest just to have a chance to be a part of it. So it's really one of the neat things. I wish I had like 10 of them. I think we typically say that we would like to design in a game less than 10 times, where it's designed that he's going to run it, and know that there are going to be some times in the past that it's not designed, but it's what the situation warrants. I don't know last week out of the 20 or however many carries he had, how many were designed and how many were running. I know one touchdown was a pass, wasn't it? Yeah. So I'm not sure how many of each, but that's kind of what we'd like to do. We had the discussion this morning, as we always do on Thursday, is what does rotations look like based on health and what the opponents do and so forth. I think Coach Bowman would like at some point in time to put that second offensive line in like he does sometimes. I'm not sure Coach Siciliano is sure yet whether he wants to break the rhythm of the quarterback position and do that at the same time, or just do it maybe at another time. So nothing predetermined, but it's always a discussion we have, and something in our minds. Thank you, folks.